Hey chemistry crew, this is Mr. Collier. I want to show you how to do a few of the conversions here on page 5 in your gases packet. So we're only choosing a few select units. We're doing millimeters of mercury, torr, atmospheres, and kilopascals. The big one we're missing is PSI. That would be another one that's going to be pretty common, so I might mention that in this video briefly. And the relationship between all of these units comes back to what we learned on page 4 in your notes here in the middle, that 1 atmosphere is equal to 101.325 kilopascals, which is equal to 760 millimeters of mercury and 14.7 psi. These values don't need to be memorized. They're here on page 4. They're also in your reference packet. So one thing that's going to stick out right away at the beginning of this is that millimeters of mercury and torr are the same. So on this chart, these first two columns are always equal. So if you know this one, you automatically know the torr value. Or if you know the torr value, you automatically know the millimeters of mercury value. So that's very straightforward. That just leaves us these next two columns to do our conversions with. And I'm actually going to convert from here and kind of show my work transitioning over there. There's not really a lot of space to show our work here. So the units that you want to end up with are always going to go on the top, and the ones that you want to get rid of, in this case I'm starting with torr, are always going to go on the bottom. Then the values that go with those two units are going to just be taken directly off of, again, that page 4. So for millimeters of mercury, it's going to be 760, or sorry, torr. And for atmospheres, it's going to be 1. Once I place those two values in, now I'm simply canceling out these, so it'd be 380 times 1 divided by 760, which just so happens to be 0.500 atmospheres. So now for the next one, I could do one of two things. I could use this 0.5 atmospheres to go to kilopascals, or I could go back to that original number of 380. Just generally speaking, I like to go back to a given number just in case I've made some mistake somewhere else along the way. I'm not going to be bringing that mistake with me. So I'm going to do 380 millimeters of mercury. I'm going to set up my conversion with millimeters of mercury on the bottom and the new units, in this case kilopascals, on the top. From there, I'm going to go back to page 4 and look up the values. Millimeters of mercury is 760 and kilopascals is 101.325. 760, 101.325. And when I do all of that, I'm going to get 50.7. You can see this is why I didn't show my work on the answer key I posted, but there is that. And then say, and again, it's not on this worksheet, but you are going to have to do this in your homework at some points in the future. So let's just mention PSI. So PSI is 14.7 pounds per inch squared, or PSI is also fine. And so, I'm sorry, 14.7. And so you're just going to put that over whatever the other units are. Maybe it's 760 millimeters of mercury. Maybe it's one of the others. And you can go in any direction. Let's just do one real quick here where we go from atmospheres back to millimeters. So in this case, over here, I would do 100 atmospheres. By the way, that's a lot of pressure, right? Normally we're under 1 atmosphere of pressure. That's 100 times that. So I'm going to do 1 atmosphere on the bottom, and I'm going to do 760 millimeters of mercury on the top. That's how I'm going to get that one, which I don't even need a calculator for this. I'm just going to boop, boop, add 2 zeros, and it's going to be 76000, boom, 4 millimeters. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go through all of these. I do have the answers posted, but if you want to see one in particular, let me know. But we're always just putting the units we want to get rid of on the bottom and the units we want to end up with on the top. And we're referencing, again, these values on page 4. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good one.